My name's Chris.
And I'm a Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast, and we're back to normal schedule very soon.
So soon.
Yep, so...
Too soon, Reese.
It's too soon.
Never too soon.
So we've had an elimination challenge and an immunity challenge, and Legends Week rolls on.
It does, through the mists of time.
Apparently the legend tonight was Matt Sinclair, but...
I know.
We'll get to that when we get to tonight's episode.
Do not start.
And if you don't think we're coming off the long run-up on that one, think again. So let's get into it, because we don't need to go ultra long tonight.
No.
So, because we've got two things to wrap up here, and then that's really it. And by the way...
We're back Thursday.
We are back Thursday. We're going to go back into the normal schedule, so Thursday we'll start that. So you're getting 3 this week. 4 if you count the Eurovision podcast. You lucky bastards, you.
5 if I could be fucked just during my one-woman show called A Night with Kristie, where we just
It's a working title.
And I just pressed record, and it's just me watching Netflix.
It's just you watching Netflix and commentating.
Although I'm into a bit of My Market Kitchen at the moment.
Yeah,
some
My
ideas.
Market Kitchen is amazing. Go watch it, by the way. 10 play. Go check it out. Elena and Khan.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
I know.
And no, I like the idea of you just sort of narrating things. That's good.
Who says this narration will just be me chomping on
That's
food?
fine. So people of Twitter, if you really do
some
want
food
this,
for me to eat,
request
not peas.
A Night with Kristie on Twitter at The Washing Up. Let us know. We'll do it. We're...
Facebook live feed.
We are I've threatened to Facebook Live the podcast before. You know that.
Oh, no.
So I'm actually looking at doing that. I thought about doing it the other night and answering some questions when it was just me. Then I went to the unnamed markets that I used to go to, and it was sad and disappointing, and we didn't do it.
No.
So anyway, let's get into the challenge last night. And the challenge last night was to survive a Claire masterpiece.
At first they were afraid. They were petrified.
But Derek started with his pump on and was dignified. Well, not really. So we opened with a gratuitous shot of Derek just pumping iron.
2 sounds. Boom. Followed by... all the wetness in people's
I just
dangling
realised,
parts.
anyone listening at home, that sounded really weird, and I apologise
That's not
humbly
me.
for...
They weren't my 2 sounds. They were his sounds.
It was my sounds for a change, yeah. It was
I
me
know.
being inappropriate for a change, not Kristie.
Yeah. I was trying to do one that implied that people were fawning over Derek's
They really were, by the way.
guns.
Twitter became a thirst trap, and the water was rising. There was a rising tide that carried all boats, and it was it was the level of enthusiasm for Derek.
And I'm really happy that there are people out there that appreciate that. For me, I'm just kind of thinking, oh my gosh, do you need to hydrate? I can see so many veins.
Now, as we found out though,
what?
Ben was in the background doing 160 kilos, so
deadlifts.
You can't see him though, however, because
no.
that's one of the reasons he wears the shirts. Is you try to spot Ben, and unfortunately, he just doesn't get on. Again, he's Trenting the series.
Ninja.
He's
also training for Ninja Warrior.
He really is. He's doing both at once, and that's impressive.
I mean, he might have already been on, but you wouldn't see.
You wouldn't know. He's actually the last series of Ninja Warrior. He was holding up the trophy, but no one noticed it.
Do you think he and Trent are actually in a battle, like a ninja battle, and trying to sneak up on each other?
I've actually got a bit of a theory about this.
What?
So in the kitchen at the moment, what I'm actually thinking is going on is when you get to his bench, Ben's not the only person there. There's 3 people at his bench. It's him
and Trent?
and both Trents. No one's noticed. They're going to tag team this shit. 3 of them are going to start, they're going to get a 40-minute challenge and do a fucking croquembouche.
Yeah.
How? Because there's 3 of them.
Now, Ninja, what I've heard is Ben goes around their house just sneaking up on people and scaring them. But you know what? Only a ninja can sneak up on another ninja.
Exactly.
Much like a ginger can only call another ginger.
That's why I can call Robert a ginger and vice versa.
And I'll just do it because.
And you just do it because, and we let you get away with it. So they opened when they announced that Claire Smith was on. When they announced that she was on.
I was ecstatic.
Well, one, we love her. We really do.
She's a bit fucking awesome.
Secondly, and far more importantly, the way they talked about it, and they're like, oh my God, she's cooked royalty. No, she's cooked for royalty.
Yeah, it's like, how to cook humans.
How to cook for humans. How to cook for 40 humans.
And on it goes.
And it never ends. The book titles never end.
Now, if you were cooking royalty, who would you pick and how would you cook them?
It's got to be it's got to be Princess Michael of Kent,
Right.
because was very into tennis. Mm-hmm. So obviously the muscle and the sinew is very it's ready, it's peak condition.
See, I'm going for veal and looking at Prince George.
That's probably a good call.
Young and tender.
Send your royal complaints to
Infanticide and regicide in one.
Look at you getting in there.
I really feel like I'm, a Russian in the early 1900s,
Maybe
just rising up against a czar.
I mean, maybe if you can put all the pieces together, maybe you can have some Earl of Mountbatten. I mean, seafood. It's technically seafood. I'm really sorry about that joke, people. We're moving. It's gone darker than we ever expected. Let's move.
So Prince William was in the Air Force. Does that make him poultry?
And Prince Charles is bovine because he's a farmer. It all makes sense. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes, please.
So they went, it's really simple, it's really straightforward, and then listed off basically 61 steps. So
look, it's just straightforward. It's something I just, whip up in the kitchen at home, says Claire.
It was on one hand, it has a ridiculous number of steps to it. And I mean a ridiculous number of steps to it.
Yep.
But on the other hand, realistically,
it's a dome.
It was a meringue cup.
Yep.
There was sorbet.
Yep.
There was jelly. Mm-hmm. There was, we'll get to in a minute, creme diplomat. God, I can't wait to get to creme diplomat. And pears.
Puree pears.
No, pears, it was the balls. In other words, they just did the domes and the pearls. That was it.
And there's a puree.
Yeah, but that's individually those elements aren't much. The issue came where Claire says you must weigh them exactly into the cup because it can only take a certain amount
of weight.
And as we saw with one contestant we'll get to in a moment, they probably actually should have underweighed and not gone the proper weight. So it was unnecessarily complicated, really.
But I bet you it tasted all right.
Now, we've had a few... My biggest problem I've had with the last two nights has been the gantry.
Why?
Because the commentary from the gantry has been really dumb.
Okay, example?
Jess, you're really behind.
Poor Jess.
Thanks, Larissa. You're a rocket scientist, you.
Wasn't
Derek doing his commentary off the top tonight in place of Tim, which was pointless. Somebody asked Donovan, hey, Donovan, what are you cooking there? And again, they always feel like they're being held at gunpoint. It's no.
What I'd love is some pre-done questions from the audience, I
want us to live tweet in.
Yeah, it would be unnecessarily difficult. But you could do things like Tessa Ketty going, this tweet comes from I did your mum last night, 69.
I love some of their tweets.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She is. It's like, which bear is best?
Which bear is best? Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. So,
this come from Matt Sinclair, fan number 1.
Oh, Matt Sinclair. So my question with Jess, though, to go back to it, because Larissa on one hand did call out stupidly, but on the other hand, why was Jess behind? It was making a meringue. And everyone else gets him in the oven. Jess is not even remotely, vaguely close to putting things in the oven. And she was way behind from the start, and I cannot for the life of me work out how.
Well, she's had a mantra, which was calm, confident.
Inactive like a stone.
Calm, confident, and something else beginning with C. I presume not...
Careless.
Which is cool. Maybe it was cool, calm. Anyway.
That'll do.
I think perhaps her mindfulness kind of got the better of her. She was being too mindful of stuff.
Yeah, stop being so mindful, damn it. Stop being arrogant.
It's a powerful tool, but in the wrong hands.
This is useless. Now, I thought Jess was in trouble last night, mainly because they did a medical backstory.
And the shit editing of the night before that kind of showed Jess's hands
in front of the dome.
Now, ring in front of the dome.
Now, we didn't mention that
Because we didn't want to fuck up
we
other
didn't
people.
we didn't want to mess everybody up, but we finished recording and we all went, all right, so who's going home? And we went, well, it's Jess's hand.
Yeah.
You could clearly see it was Jess's hand.
Yeah.
The editing hasn't been particularly good when it comes to the ad breaks and the promos, because like they made it like when Mandy went, to be honest with you, we saw the ring on Mandy's hand, which was quite distinctive.
Yeah.
And that gave away that it was Mandy. So, like, can the editors... Last year we know they gave away a couple of them completely. Can they tighten the editing up a little bit on the promos? Like, they've got time to tighten that up. The show, no, it's done.
Yeah.
But the editing on the promos...
A little bit more...
It's sloppy.
Just
It's sloppy work.
us mega fans will spot a fucking clue from a mile away.
Those of us that have to write full recaps and have to prepare for this really look for the clues. And by the way, if you're looking for a really good full recap, Ben Podgy.
Oh, he's brilliant.
If you go to his Twitter, so if you go to Ben's Twitter, and I retweeted that out, his latest one out tonight on the Washing Up account, some amazingly funny recaps, and like he gets to take it apart in a way that we even can't do. So things that we're not allowed to do.
One, because he's a professional.
Yeah.
2, because he's a professional comedian too. And 3,
he's a good writer.
He's a good writer. So
his books are great too. So yeah, go check out Ben. Go check out his reviews, because they're sensational. And when I need to go, what the hell happened, I quite often just go to Ben's and just sort of check up on it just to make sure I've got details. So speaking of things that we need to talk about from last night, we need to go to Mr. Zoolander. Now,
because he's really, 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 really good looking.
Now, let me tell you something about Mr. Zoolander.
What's that?
Now, Mr. Zoolander last night, he made his jelly.
But you know what?
Derek wasn't ready for this jelly.
Oh, no, he wasn't. He Beyonce'd that shit.
You know what? In fact, he should have been ready for this jelly, because he left it in too long. That was the problem. He wasn't ready for this jelly.
Just from the gantry, someone should have gone, hey, Derek, are you ready?
Now, there were a couple of moments, we'll get to that in a minute too, where they were basically at one point yelling out at Leah everything but telling her, add water, stupid! But like, they were trying to hint, have you missed anything? Have you looked at everything? Are you anything you're missing? And Leah's like, no, I've gone over it. They're like, read the recipe again.
Simon and Ben are
There's
just
something not there.
Simon and Ben are on the gantry going, look, we're just playing some inadvertent game of charades. What could this be? Simon does like a hand wave.
Turns on
motion
taps.
Drinking.
But Derek, now for poor Derek.
And I just have to say, I emoted all of that.
You did, and it was great. It was wonderful. But to be fair, we acted it out last night too. We were talking about how they do it. And we worked out after about 5 minutes of doing it, we were playing charades with each other while watching Masterchef. And that was a bit weird. It was fun.
It was fun.
The cats got into it. That was good.
Yeah,
But it
I
was a
think
bit
we
weird.
have reached middle age, because now we're ready for like the couple's game night.
We really are. Charades. So anyway, more importantly than all that was Derek and his jelly. So Derek gets the jelly out, and it's basically frozen solid. So
What
Derek,
is this? A jelly for penguins?
your Zoolander is an impression I was not prepared for, but I really should be. So if you get a jelly out of the freezer, because that's where you put it naturally, and
Well, he's cooling it off fast, and he probably meant to put it in the fridge too.
and it's frozen solid.
There's your problem.
Don't whisk it. And I don't mean that like I've got a list, but I'm saying don't risk it. I mean, don't whisk the jelly.
Like he's looking at the judges like, what do I do? And the judges are looking like...
Not that. Claire Smith is looking at me like, what are you doing?
Claire Smith's facials all need to be gifts, because she is all of us.
Oh, the facial last night when Derek started whisking the jelly.
The eyebrows made that look like... It wasn't quite a confused look. It wasn't quite a you poor thing look. It was more of a...
What the fuck are you doing to my jelly?
How?
What he did was make that kid's snot. Like that play kid snot that they sometimes get.
The slime, you mean?
No, it was snot, not the slime, because the slime has a different consistency to that snot stuff you get. You know, you get those one of fake boogers and kids like throw it at... Yeah, it was like that consistency.
Can I just say, if you do get some...
And grainy.
Okay, if you get fake turds, like the dog turds, and you want to make it look real, put a little bit of water on it. Just because we did that when I was 8. And, like, my mum had a freak out.
I thought you were going to say feed them to the dog and let nature take its course. But
oh, you just use a real one.
A day's time?
Yeah.
Set.
Just get rid of the fake dog poo, Go get yourself some real stuff. All organic.
Locals. It's what the locals use.
Local poo for local people.
None of this imported fake dog poo.
No.
Real local dog poo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
Organic.
It was organic. So, yeah, I do recommend check out Twitter because some of the GIFs of Claire are just out of this world. Now, you had a theory about somebody on the gantry last night, and in particular, the way they were dressed.
Yeah, so I usually spot the celebrity undercover. For example, Terry Irwin.
You're very good at that.
On the Great Canadian Baking Show. And it looks like her son is following in her footsteps because I'm pretty sure that Robert Irwin is actually Simon. Simon is actually Robert Irwin, I should say.
He looked like it.
He really does have an Irwin-esque. And then last night, what colour is he wearing? Fucking khaki. He's like, he probably goes up to Ben, how can I dial it back? How can I not be too Robert? And Ben's like, hide in plain sight, dude. Like, just fucking put yourself out there. You'll blend right in.
The level of khaki was out of this world. I mean...
I was waiting for him to go down the gantry and go, guess what, guys? I've got a nice little fella here for you to meet. Like, kind of like when he goes on to Jimmy Fallon.
Well, but the thing was, he did get very Bob Irwin because the little bromance between him and Derek was kind of... Well, to be honest with you, it was sickening. The level of bro off the gantry and the level of bro back up there. I thought they were just going to have a conversation where there was only one word, and it was bro.
I think the bromance has set off a bit of jealousy, a bit of rivalry with the judge pack.
The bromance has actually been in the freezer for too long. They're going to whisk it back into shape.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the judges because
steroided bromance.
Oh God. Anyway, so when they were starting to get up to the plating, now they had to take their stuff into plate. Now before they did that, they had to get the emotional moment of the night, which was trying to get the meringue cups out of the moulds. Yeah. And Derek's worked perfectly, and I've never been so disappointed in my life. Because I knew that it was likely Jess's, and then
to be fair though, Derek powered through that recipe.
Derek seems
really
to work
well.
very.
The jelly.
Derek
can't handle jelly.
Derek seems to work very well when there's a list of steps in front of him. That seems to be stronger than when he's left to his own devices. So we'll see what happens with that.
Do you think if we go back and watch and get like the original Destiny's Child like DVD, they'll have like the extras in the making of, and like Kelly and Beyonce were there, and the other one that left will be like, we were in Australia just on holidays and we met this kid, this little kid called Derek who was playing in a park, and we offered him
a jelly cup, and he said,
I'm not ready.
Not yet.
I'm not ready.
With great power comes great responsibility, and I'm not ready. We wrote a song about it, but it infringed on one we wrote several years earlier.
Because he's like, I can't handle this.
And then, so then he turned around to them and went, well, someone's got to take it. Kelly, can you handle this? Beyonce, can you handle this? Michelle, can you handle this? And they all looked at each other and went, I don't think we can handle this. Woo! So anyway, we're amusing ourselves here. I don't care if you like it or
creating
we're
the legend of Derek.
We are.
He was just there practicing his poses.
So what I worried about though was the plate up. They made them do it in front of the judges, and which meant they fucking narrated it for 10 minutes. Now they only showed us like 30-second snippets of them doing time calls. But the time call I got, but like George was doing like full running commentary. And I can't imagine anything more annoying. I like they did. They started to plate it up, and they're starting it, and like, no, you got to do this. George, fuck off. Just once.
George, can I borrow your tweezers? All right. Stab him in the head with it.
Pull his tongue out with the tweezers.
No, first they pull out like a little, like, I don't know, blowtorch, heat them up.
So they showed the first.
Carry on with style.
They showed Derek's, and that all worked.
Yeah.
And so then they showed Leah's, and Leah, again, did not stop fucking grinning the whole fucking challenge. Even when things were falling apart, she was still smiling and buzzing and like, what's... The emotion chip is not switched to on.
No, she's just so delighted to be in the Masterchef
She's thrilled.
kitchen.
You've been in there for a while now, Leah. You can breathe.
I'm sure what they edit around is her going, oh my God, I feel like Laura in season 4, episode 22. You're like, She's just like,
If there's one thing that I can compare this to, it's Elena in semi-final week. It's just how I've always felt. And it's just so naturally me, right?
Yeah.
Now, the problem was we saw those two and they went perfectly. So we've all seen on the preview that a cup falls apart, which meant that from that moment on,
particularly when we're looking at
there was no surprise.
Jess, who's cool, calm, collected, confident, and caricature.
And only has one cup left.
And he has one cup left, and she hadn't measured out her meringues either.
So she got in there.
The first pass.
She got in there, and they tell her to measure it up, and they tell her to weigh it up, and she weighs it up, and then she puts it in the cup. I would have underweighed.
Yeah.
Because she knew that the cups were fragile, so I would have done less mixture in there on the grounds of I just don't want the cup to fall apart.
Yeah.
She didn't. She did it exactly. They put it down. It broke, and I don't think I've seen Matt react quite like that ever.
No.
Like, you could just see him going, oh, shit.
Well, because it's not like she didn't try.
And that's what Claire Smith
yeah.
said. She went, the problem is I hate seeing someone work so hard
Yeah.
and have it all fall apart at the end.
And it's not like she had that moment where shit was going down during the bake and she ran off crying and then came back and went back to it. You know what I mean? It was more like, she's like, oh, okay, I've gone too slow. Okay, I need to hustle. And so she gets a hustle on, and you could see that, she wasn't doing things as well, but there was no real...
And...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a problem. We also got a really late Vespa sighting.
We sure did before.
They got before the judging, and I think they did it because when they called them in...
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give them credit for this. They didn't draw the judging out.
Thank God.
They walked in and they went, look, it's fine margins and it's one thing going wrong. We all know what happened. Jess, we're not going to pretend.
Yeah.
It fell apart. You know this. We know this. You're going home. And I liked that they didn't draw it out and make them do yours had this and yours had this, because they would have talked up the other two in front of her and then gone, Jess, unfortunately, your shell cracked. They just went, Jess, sometimes these things go that way. That's how it went. Bye.
And the thing is, like, when the judges were talking, you could hear that a couple of things weren't perfect in the other dishes.
Yeah.
But it obviously wasn't enough to make it a big comparison, and there was no need for it. So thank you for not elongating the drama.
Well, the thing is that they couldn't really, because, the cup is a key part of that.
Yeah.
Right? The cup is a part of that, and it is a major part of that presentation. So if the cup falls apart, that's the difference, unfortunately.
I was disappointed that you don't get diplomatic immunity with that particular dish.
So let's talk about that, shall we? So
she had a diplomatic incident.
What the fuck
is a diplomatic?
Is creme diplomat? Now, my response to what creme diplomat is it's a creme that tries to see all sides of the argument.
Mine is, it's what they find in the ambassador's suite after a presidential visit.
After a presidential visit, the chief aide and personal assistant leave the room looking flustered, and there is a creme diplomat left.
Yes.
It's code. It's code in many hotels around the world. Creme diplomat, creme diplomat.
Yes, we need
Sponge, please. Creme diplomat incident. So that brings us to tonight.
Mm. But you know what a creme president is? Usually served on a blue dress.
But
there's a 20-year-old reference for you.
And for those
you kiddies will get it.
And for the kiddies out there who don't understand that reference, we don't have time to explain that one to you. And for those people who are our age or older, you keep that one. Store it in the back pocket.
You are pissing yourselves laughing right now.
Right now. It's up there with Judge Ito jokes. It's so nice.
So
again, young kiddies, you don't know who Judge Ito is. Or you might if you watch the documentary on O.J. Simpson, you might. Anyway, tonight I thought the challenge was actually really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
No one made Kevin's famous chili.
No.
Did they clean the microwave?
It smells like popcorn after it.
Did Larissa clean the microwave?
All I can think of is that there's these beautiful smells coming from Tati's and and Steph's benches, and there's Larissa just burning popcorn. So and that stinks.
And before we get into bits and pieces of the actual challenge itself, I just have to say that Larissa, you achieved something that is beyond the realm of comprehension tonight. I have frequently used on Masterchef the I just look away for a minute and ... which is the disaster card. Yeah. Now, we usually see it on a stove top or we see it with an oven. Kudos to you for managing the I just turned around for a second and ... with microwave popcorn, which once the microwave stops cooking. That is a new and rare moment of genius, never to be repeated. Bravo
on that. But I do need to stand up for Larissa and say, look, when you're doing microwave popcorn in a new microwave, you really
stand there.
No, you have to do a test bag, and you have to stand there and watch it because, you know, there's a difference between 2 minutes and 2 minutes 20. Some are just like get to the 150 seconds, and it's like that's fucking done.
Well, we're a 2 microwave house, and
because we have to be because
the upstairs,
we have an induction one upstairs.
No, the induction's downstairs. The one up is the grill.
Oh, okay. We have a grill microwave upstairs, which can't fucking do popcorn, and I have to always go, Chris, can I use your microwave?
So downstairs I have a microwave which is down in the area where I sit down and watch all the Foxtel sport, and that's where the microwave is, which works with the popcorn. Yeah. And so while I'm down there, I'll be watching some sporting event and I'll just hear, can you microwave a bag of popcorn? And the popcorn just comes flying down the stairs.
So I'll be down there for popcorn. Like 2 minutes later, like you just bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going down there. You can just bring it back.
Oh my God, the Renos, we need a dumb waiter.
I've already talked about a dumb waiter. Anyway, yeah. We'll get into those later. So, or maybe we just get one of the Trents because no one will notice they're here.
Yeah.
So,
or a Ben. He seems to be a Trent upgrade. He's like Trent 3.0.
With better shirts.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, the other Trents might have good shirts. Who knows? Never saw them. So, I'm going to come off the long run up and then I'm going to move out of the way so you can finish it.
Okay, great. Let's do this.
So the judges tonight go, well, you've got someone walking you through the Masterchef kitchen. You are not unescorted, people. Welcome, one of the most successful Masterchef contestants of all time, Matt Sinclair. Now, a couple of things with this. First of all, he's a fucking mentor. They all acted shocked. Like, he's the mentor that's on rotation. They're rotating through the mentors. Poe was the first one. Billy was the second one. Guess who the fucking third one is? It's Matt Sinclair. Why is everyone in the kitchen going, oh my God, Matt Sinclair's coming? You know that. It's obvious. Secondly, and far more importantly, as Kristie sits in a Zen-like pose next to me, and I'm not joking, she's in a Zen-like pose because I know where this is going. One of the most successful MasterChef contestants in history, Matt Sinclair. No, I'm not going to. I don't agree with that statement at all. I can list 10, 20, 30. But let's keep going with this because before we go, because I'm going to give you the run. I'm going to give you the run.
Okay, hurry up.
Because then Matt and Gary and George go over and full bromance Matt Sinclair and talk up what an amazing person he is and how wonderful, which is something they didn't do with Poe and they didn't do with Billy. The floor is yours.
This has been my bugbear throughout the fucking entire run of MasterChef, right? Is this need to just fucking idolize white men, and middling white men, like mediocre white men. Now, Matt is talented, yes. But for fuck's sake, when he walks through the door and you're acting like it's a bachelor party, it's a fucking sausage fest. So Matt walks in, we have to cut to Abby who's fawning over him, like, oh my God, he's just so attractive and I just want to have all of his babies. Right, then we go from that, because we have to cement that this guy is fuckable. And then we get to the fucking 3 judges, right, who are acting like they're fucking frat boys greeting their long-lost, bro who's just come back from a gnarly adventure in Hawaii and he's just totally cool. Because we tell, I'm just imagining Matt, Gary and George, when Matt's not there, they're like, you know what Matt's probably doing right now? Matt's probably like being really cool somewhere. And Gary would be like, oh yeah, he'd be like up there, like with all the girls around him, like a Playboy mansion.
While he's punching the air.
While he's punching the air. This is Gary just punching the air going, he'd be fucking cool. And then like, it was sickening because they don't do that with any of the women. And I'm not saying they have to, like, you know, be that enthused and whatever. But
it was overboard for Matt.
It was overboard.
Billy won the fucking competition.
I know.
Billy won.
And like they're like, you know, this guy got 10 out of 10 from all of us when he cooked against some bloody chef. And it's like, okay, one, I'm pretty sure it was the chef that was fucking tanked.
We think it was
Scottish
chef. From memory, it was the Scottish chef. It was so bombed that he couldn't cook properly.
Exactly. So good on you. And two, that didn't fucking help you because Alana won. So suck my balls, Matt.
Anyway.
Get my big fat lab ears and suck on it. Right? Because you're talented and whatever, but you're basic. All right? I am just so fucking over it, you know? And tonight, you know, when they're talking about Tati, this beautiful, you know, woman who's talented, has got a real passion for food, and is a woman of colour as well. And we can't, you know, like saying, oh, she got herself here. Oh, no, Matt, this white man's going to get her through it. It's like he's got to go in there and discover her fucking nation and then crush it. Fucking colonise her bench and just go in and, like, ransack her goods and use it for his own benefit, leaving her destitute. So you know what I say to that? Poo. Poo to you, Matt Sinclair. Poo, poo, poo to you judges.
I don't know how we go on. You're right. You're 100% right. Yeah. But it's just, I'm sorry, I'm still back at the labia comment. Hi, Mum. Anyway, so...
She knows what a labia is. I'm sure she's got her own.
Yeah, she does. I can't wait for her to...
You probably passed through them as you came into the world. You weren't a Caesar, were you? Were you a Caesar?
No, I was really fucking early.
You just go... Chris looked like a baked potato when he was a baby.
So I didn't even get to the point where I said the challenge was 45 minutes and was using office equipment because we didn't get there.
No. We're now there, and that was a good place. That was a good place.
That challenge was actually quite a cool idea.
Yeah.
You had to use the microwave, you had to use the kettle, and you had to use the sandwich press. I do look forward to whoever gets fired tomorrow for trying to sous vide steak in the kettle.
No, some people are going to be cut out of the office Christmas party after tomorrow.
My question was, in the challenge, was there any condition that you had to be able to return it back to the cupboard in proper usage? Because I don't know if I want to follow the idea of Steph, as awesome as it was, the curry. I don't know if I want to be following that in the sandwich press with my ham and cheese.
I'm just imagining the office kitchen, you know, Steph's walking out after her lunch break. I mean, she has to take her food back to the desk because it took her 45 minutes to cook. Now, I don't know who's getting 45 minutes lunch breaks legally, but, you know, she's like cooked it, so she's got to go back to her desk. And on the way in, her office work, like her colleague's like, oh, that smells and looks amazing. And she's like, oh, yeah, just whipped it up. And they're thinking, oh, she's probably reheated it. Anyway, they chuck their ham and cheese toasty into the sandwich press.
Eggplant curry flavour.
Ham and cheese toasted and bite into it. Like, I do not remember eggplant nor curry being applied. And for the next 10 years, the ham and cheese toasty tastes like eggplant
Can
curry.
I also point out the fact that Gary, with an absolute straight face, talked about the idea of lightly poaching an egg in the kettle.
Because that's what you do.
Because you do. Like, you open the top of the kettle. What are you doing? You're making coffee? No, I'm just poaching an egg.
Now, I do have to put kudos to someone on Twitter who mentioned their dick cousin, apparently, who got out of jail and had learnt to cook 3 whole meals in a rice cooker. They ended up back in jail, so I'm expecting another 3.
That's an achievement.
You know, 4 more jailings, and I'll have a whole fucking cookbook.
I wanted ramen in a coffee pot. Like, one of the drip feed ones. Like, I wanted a drip feed coffee pot with ramen in it. I look forward to, like, people bastardising their workplace tomorrow. It's going to be great.
I did see on Tasty, in the Tasty kitchen, there's a test cooker, and she was given...
Of course there is. Some of the weird stuff they make.
Yeah. She was given just a coffee pot, like the drip feed coffee pot, to cook a lunch in. No, a 3-course meal, that's right. And it was pretty cool. I can't remember what she cooked.
Can I also point out, Tasty's really good, but the other one you need to check out It's in French, but it's Le Cuisine Club.
Oh, that is so cool.
And they make the greatest things
so
ever.
much cheese.
It's in French. It's all cheese. And I highly recommend that you go and check all that out because some of the stuff they make, just translate it. But I've got dishes on there that I've looked at and, they're happening. So we now need to talk about the weirdest GIF that Masterchef will ever put out. They will not beat this. So there was a big hubbub. I wanted to use the word hubbub. I got it in. There's a big hubbub and hullabaloo because I'm looking at what the hell's going on. They're like, well, Matthew, and he's like, well, what? I'm like, somebody's used the alfalfa. It's an alfalfa. It's alfalfa.
Everyone in the gantry kneels. You just have like a ninja, like one of the ninjas crawling across.
And Matt Preston came over and held it up like it was, forget the Lion King, forget Simba. Yeah. He held it up like the idol in Indiana Jones. When Bellark gets it off Indiana Jones at the start of the movie and holds the idol up for the worshipping people.
Except Sandeep came along, cracked open a coconut
and just anointed him with the thing.
Yeah.
So they're waving the bowl and I'm like, what the fuck with the alfalfa? I mean, they're like 11 years, no one's used alfalfa. First of all, somebody go back through the archives. I'll guarantee you there's fucking alfalfa in something.
Nah.
I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it.
They wouldn't have made this big a deal if there wasn't.
No, I just think alfalfa is rare.
Kim Spicer, I'm pretty sure it was, tweeted out, 11-year-old alfalfa. That's about right for an office.
It is. It is also one of the little rascals, and don't forget that. So,
what would be in your office's kitchen to whip something up with?
I actually know what's in there. It's a
teacher's kitchen, so
I actually know what's in the fridge.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, we've got samosas in the freezer.
Well, that would be Rahini, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we've got some amazing cooks at home who then bring the food in. So there's Super Dupers in the freezer as well.
From you?
3 packets. No, not just from me. A couple of other people. There's 3 packets of Super Dupers. There used to be a Freddo ice cream cake, which was one of my birthday cakes.
Polish that off over a few
There's Devondale Long Life Milk. # you ought to be congratulated. There's usually fruit from somebody who, like, one of us forgets, and there's a bunch of fruit that stays there until it goes out. What else we got in the kitchen that might... there's all those... there's some... U-foods and those sorts of meals are all in there as well. So you just take all those ingredients and throw them together on the sandwich press.
I have to take a moment and do a shout out to my awesome colleague Jasminka.
Go.
She is the sweetest woman you'll ever meet. She'll bend over backwards for you. Okay, so when she moved out of our main office into her own little office, half of the condiments in the fridge disappeared. I kid you not. And I'm thinking, someone must have done a fridge clean out. Now, I am lucky enough to work in her awesome little office like one day a week. I found where all the condiments went. She's the condiment queen. Like, if she was there last Thursday...
Nigella would have moved over and bowed.
Exactly. She just... Like, Nigella's like, all right, this is not... I shit you not. It's like every time she buys something, and it'll be like... And she'll just dress up with all these different condiments. And I'm like, she's an inspiration, really,
So the dishes that they made...
Yeah.
So Larissa, look, I thought out of all of them, even though the others were probably better executed, I thought Larissa had the coolest idea.
The popcorn grits. Yeah, that was
a really cool idea with the pan-fried calamari, and then she put about a million things on the plate, and that was the problem. They went, it's good, but there's too much.
I really feel that if she'd have dressed up, if the grits was the main thing, and then just dressed it up with some of the...
some of the calamari over
the calamari, some pancetta, and then a soft-boiled egg, or a poached egg from the thing, put that on top...
Done.
Kettle poached egg.
Yeah, she could have kettle poached the egg. Gary would have fucking lost his shit. Gary would have been punching. Which, to be fair, is what Gary is doing now, just in general. What is wrong with Gary this year?
I think he's like... Maybe someone's had a bit of a pep talk. I'm like, come on, Gary, you've just got to up your game. And so he does.
Last year, everyone complained he was too lethargic, so this year he's making up for it.
Do you think before the show he's like pumping, Eye of the Tiger?
Him and George is headbutting each other before. George is headbutting him. Good, Croc, Ken, push. Anyway.
Boom, boom, shake the room.
And Gary's like shake
boom,
me.
Boom,
yeah.
shake the room.
Yeah, boom, boom, shake the room.
Do it.
It's you want to rhyme. That's the problem. Can you stop making this logical and rhyming? Steph made an amazing eggplant curry and to make that in the sandwich grill was beyond amazing. I was like, I don't know how she's going to do it. The fact that she got applause from everybody in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And for degree of difficulty, and I know Tardy's was amazing and she deserved the win.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But I felt so bad for Steph because I thought that Steph's was just out of this world.
Knocked that out of the
incredible.
park, yeah.
And again, degree of difficulty
Yeah.
in making a curry at a sandwich press. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Abby made snapper with cauliflower.
Yep.
Which they absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And she seemed to treat it pretty well.
And she was very clever about how she used it. So she had the little bits of fried cauliflower there too.
And more importantly, Simon.
Yep.
I hope you were paying attention. That is how you fillet fish.
Yes. Abby does have the knife skills. I mean, she's had worked in that seafood deli.
I mean, she probably had...
She lives in the lower Blue Mountains.
Wow. Where is the fresh seafood coming from?
Well, there was a prawn farm up near my dad's place, but that's like kind of beyond the commercialised Blue Mountains past Lithgow.
The commercialised Blue Mountains.
Oh, you know, the one where...
The ones that are only there for the ad campaign.
No, the ones where you can go and buy buy one, get one free pashmina. Like,
Oh, yes. The
gift shop.
The ones with the cottages.
You know, the ones with the scarf that comes with a little dangling bit of potpourri on
You can
the
say
end.
lure. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't go there.
Actually, it's a really good cafe in there.
Oh, God.
No, there is. I'll have to take you there.
No, because if we're going down there, we're going to a vegan restaurant down near Lithgow instead.
Fuck yeah.
Secret Creek Cafe. Get on it, people. Mm-hmm. Like, again, I just, it's not like me to push vegan food, but
It's
Secret
awesome
Creek Cafe, amazing food. Anyway, Tati.
What a legend.
We had a bit of a worry when the first couple of pancakes didn't work, but I got the feeling that the reason for that was she hadn't worked out the temperature of the grill yet.
Yeah.
Once she worked out the temperature and made those massive pancakes, she was set.
Jo was absolutely right. She's like, the first couple of pancakes you do are always dodge. They're the pancakes you pick at while you're cooking the real pancakes, and then you realise, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm not hungry.
Not hungry now. Like, who wants pancakes?
So they absolutely loved it. Then they did their little huddle, and this is where I tweeted out tonight. I felt so bad for Larissa because they were like, oh, Abby's dish was amazing. Oh, Tati's was out of this world. Steph, one of the greatest dishes I've ever eaten. And then with Larissa, it was like the Bart presenting Marge with the At Least You Tried cake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right, Leo. Our intrepid reporter, Leo, agreeing there. So, Tati won.
She did.
Matt Sinclair was the casting vote.
Yep, and, he made a good call here. Matt has a lot of redeeming features. Like I felt like he was he kind of presented that in a very authentic way. It wasn't contrived, and he did actually back that. You could see he really did enjoy Tati's. It wasn't,
He did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
So Tati gets to go on the challenge, and they go, we've got a legendary chef for you. Please pretend to know Donovan Cook. Now, Donovan Cook's resume is amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Like, there is no doubt about that.
It starts at the Savoy.
The only one that I really knew of in terms of that was Mietta's, and I knew that only because The Late Show once did a sketch at Mietta's. For anyone who's watched The Late Show, the early 90s D-Generation comedy, there's a sketch where there's the road workers and they go down where the tent is and they go down the hole.
Yeah.
And when they go down the ladder, they end up in a 5-star restaurant sitting there getting served. It's Mietta's.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason when they met Mietta's, I went, I know Mietta's. The Late Show did a sketch there. That's how I know Mietta's. So people in Melbourne are like, are you fucking kidding? It's a fucking classic. Anyway.
Well, here in Sydney, our classics are places like Clem's Chicken.
Here in Miscellaneous City.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Places like Someone's Chicken.
Clem's. Here we have
Pie
Harry's
tea.
Cafe de Wheels.
Yeah.
It could be us or Adelaide. Sydney or Adelaide. And
Miscellaneous City.
Miscellaneous Harbour Bridge, Miscellaneous Opera House. In our city, you could come to opera.
Miscellaneously.
In a miscellaneous city. It's not at all in Sydney. Peter. Anyway, Tati picks green bird's eye chili as the ingredient for the challenge. Now, Donovan has been on previously. He lost the challenge because he didn't get the fish on the plate.
Yep.
Now, he didn't get the fish on the plate. That was unfortunate. And the person that he lost to is the one who is married to that chef who was in the other day.
Yes, Laura?
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's a small world after all.
Now, what Matt didn't get right here is he came in with the incorrect tone. Now, he needs to work on his comedy because he actually came off looking a bit arrogant. I know he was trying to be funny and kind of jibe, you know, like the chefs do, or the Masterchef, the judges do to people. Like, they're kind of like, oh, you know, you're going to get that on the plate. You know, when they do the judges verse each other at the end of the year, that kind of feel-good thing. And I think that's what he was headed for, but honestly, did not come off that way.
It sounded more like he was explaining to Donovan what all the equipment on the bench was for. And Donovan was like...
Let me Matt-splain you.
Yeah, Donovan was like, fuck off.
I think that's going to become a thing, Matt-splaining.
So he had no time for that. But what I will say about Donovan Cook is the finest knife skills.
It was
watching him take that fish to pieces, that King George whiting to pieces... was, look, a masterclass in itself.
Yeah.
Like, it was so well done. And just watch him go, boop, 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 they go done. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm hoping Simon was watching that.
Now, what I enjoyed about this challenge was that Tati actually thought strategically. She went, he cooks French style. Mm-hmm. Bet he doesn't use a lot of green bird's eye chilies in his life. So I'm going to do that. And look, he was thrown a bit.
Yeah.
Tati was talking about the level of spice and she wanted to make it hot.
Yeah.
And again, I'm thinking, well, it's only George Columbaris.
Yeah.
It's not Maggie Beer.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we're okay with you burning Columbaris. That's fine.
I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but it was oh God, what's his name? He made some awesome zingers tonight.
It's the guy with the thing.
Marcus. Okay.
Always.
So Marcus is gone. Marco. I hope that she serves a green chili mist that has to be sprayed over George.
So yeah, it was a good cook, but I didn't find there was anything like overwhelmingly stunning about it in terms of like it was a normal cook, and you could sort of tell from the first moment that Tati was going to cook a really good dish.
Yeah. But it was going to be obvious that she made it.
Yeah, it was going to be obvious that she made it, and what Donovan was making was so complex.
Yeah.
And the way that he tasted it the first time, went, that's a bit too hot, made the broth to go around it. Mm-hmm. And they're all going, oh, that's not really going to dull it up. Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
And then he made that sauce.
Guy's been cooking for over 30 years.
And they absolutely adored the sauce that he made. And so he plates it all up, and it goes in, and they taste the first dish, and they pour the sauce over it, and they're like, this feels French, but with a little bit of spice to it. Mm. And you're like, yeah, okay, so they know clearly that this is the guy who's been cooking French.
Yeah.
And then Titus comes out, and they're like, this one doesn't look as well presented as the last one. Mm. They tasted it and went, it tastes really good, but the presentation's not great, and there's a couple of elements that aren't quite right. Yeah. And I will give them credit. They walked back out and didn't even pretend. They just went, Tati, we know that one's yours.
Yeah.
And she went, yeah. And he went, that was good. 7, 7, 7. That's fine.
Yeah.
Donovan gets 9s across the board.
Yeah.
The pin stays in their possession. That 24-karat gold pin. Because we all know it's really 24-karat gold.
And I think having refined the judging like that, it makes it when it's times when it is genuinely, we don't know whose was the professionals and whose was the Masterchef contestants. Like palatable, you can believe it because you haven't had all these times where it's kind of like the cheese toasty. Oh my god, the best cheese toasty I've ever had.
See, last year they did that a bunch of times where they faked it, and like everyone knew, they clearly knew who it was because for example, a certain winner from last year might have made a curry in about 5 challenges, and every time a curry appeared, and they're like, oh, I wonder if we don't know who made the curry. Who could it have been? Was it Sashi? Who knows? I mean, it was obviously going to be Sashi. But that was kind of the thing. But tonight, like there were a lot of people on Twitter talking about, and they went, well, the problem is that you're giving us the illusion of this, but realistically, we all know that you knew who it was, and they admitted it. My thing was, I would actually have them not even see who the chef was.
Yeah.
Go and judge it completely blind, and then find out who was cooking against. Yeah. Find out who was cooking against them. Now you've got the three. Yeah. Get them to do the whole introduction of the person. Bring them in, and the three judges are there simply to taste. They decide all of that, and then afterwards they find out who the other person was.
Yeah.
Then it is complete blind judging.
Yeah, but
because the blind judging we want is really when it's contestant versus contestant.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would like them to again, if they did that, it could be really awesome too, because they're going to try to guess maybe who it is. Yeah, it could be interesting.
Tonight, I think it was leveled perfectly after the fucking, like dicks out for the boys kind of thing. Like,
that moment left a sour taste, but after that, I think they actually got it right.
Absolutely, like if they'd have just cut that out or had a bit more of a,
if they dialed back, the Matt love a little bit, it would have been great.
I'm sure they're all like, oh, Matt's gone. We're probably going to have Poe next week. She's not the Matt. I love Matt.
Can I also point out that for all this talk about the pin, Poe is the one with the pin win.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just saying that. So that was tonight's challenge, and that were the last two nights, and that's a lot for this not for this week, but for this episode.
Yep.
We will be back.
We shall be.
Thursday night, and then after that we go back to Monday, Thursdays.
Yes, because we finally know.
We finally know who was on the throne, and it turns out George Columbaris. And
no, it's Matt. They well voted.
It was going to originally be George Columbaris, but he went, no, Matt Sinclair's far better than I am.
Matt's cooler. Like I can't compete with his coolness. We just need Matt.
So until Thursday night, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all then.
Oh, they'd be really, 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 really cool.